what's up, guys? We're back with Fresh Daily Meggs, and this one might be a little more interesting because we're gonna get into some real deep dives with relationship advice. Yeah, okay, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be all my advice, though, so, listen to me if you wanna, listen to me if you don't. I don't know if I'm a credible source to you, but this is just, from my experience, and maybe not my experience, maybe from my friends' experiences, but coming from a relationship person who is always in love, I feel like I have some good advice. I literally, wanted to get married at the age of 12. So, I've just always been that type of person that, learned from relationships, and I love celebrity relationships, so I just learned along the way. And I just want to give you all some advice. So we're just going to hop right into it. And this is I don't know if this works if you're single too, but just listen. Maybe when you get in love one day, this will listen. But mind you, every relationship is so unique. So advice it's not a one size fits all, which kind of sucks because you can try out any method you want and it might not work because, everyone's different. Everyone's different personalities. I don't know. A, B, C, D, F, G. Let's go. You do not need someone who's exactly like you. However, may I state, if you're somebody that gets uncomfortable with people that don't understand where you're coming from and understand maybe your background, your personality, your likes, your dislikes, maybe you should find somebody like you. But, some people like a little balance in their life. So if you're a quiet person, some people like extroverts because it kind of brings them out of their shell. So if you're somebody that needs a little push sometimes and wants the challenge, then date somebody that's a little different from you. You honestly get to learn a lot of stuff about, their family, their background, what they like, what they dislike. I don't know, Tommy taught me to like the gym, and I refused to work out before I met him. So date somebody that pushes you a little bit, but I do tend to date people that are a little bit like me, just because I like to be understood. So that's just a thing of preference. But that's the way you gotta decipher it a little bit. Clingy is only okay if you guys do it mutually. So don't be the only clingy one. I just think that's so one-sided, and that's reaching across all the way the bridge, and the other person hasn't even stepped on the bridge. So you just gotta do that mutually. If you guys are the type of couple to not text every second like I am, then don't do that. You guys have to agree on these things. But if you're the couple that loves to text every 24/7, loves to keep a snap streak, loves to FaceTime all the time, then that's okay if you guys both agree on it. But if one person is clingier than the other by the nth degree, it can be a little overbearing. Step it back a bit. It's okay if they haven't Snapchatted you in 5 hours. Maybe they don't Snapchat you. Anyways, relationships aren't easy. That's so stupid of me to say. Obviously, they're not easy. But relationships are a conscious choice. So everyone's like, oh, if you love someone, it's easy. Yes and no. Yes and no. Because you can love someone and still have little disagreements all the time. That's okay. That's completely normal. But loving someone, you're choosing to wake up every day and make a conscious effort to put effort in, commitment, loyalty. And if you're someone that doesn't want to do that, don't be in a relationship. That's where the cheating happens, okay? You have to wake up every day and choose to put a little bit of effort in. I mean, not a little bit, but you know what I'm talking about. You have to make sure that they're doing okay. You guys are essentially in this commitment to kind of be each other's peanut butter and jelly, to check on each other and call each other and make each other food. I don't know what other couples do, but you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't come exactly easy. Because, you have to actually remind yourself why you're dating this person, why you love this person. Otherwise, it kind of fades over time. You know what I mean? Not over time. There is no tolerance for cheating. So this is for people that if you're watching, and cheating goes multiple ways. I guess everyone has different levels of cheating. But don't have a tolerance for it, okay? I have a little bit of sympathy for both sides. And hear me out. Yes, cheating is bad. But you have to think about it sometimes. Sometimes some people just aren't mentally aware of what they're doing. Some people just are a little immature and shouldn't be in a relationship, and that's where the cheating happens. And then some people really just think the grass is greener, and that's why cheating happens. In my opinion, that's literally why cheating happens, is that people have this immature mindset of, oh, the grass is greener with this person, so I'm going to go try it. And then they go, and 9 times out of 10, they usually regret it, because the grass is always greener when you're not stepping in it. And then when you're stepping in it, you're like, I'm ruining it. I have to water it. I have to mow it. And you were doing that on the other yard. So you know what? You gotta take a step back. And also, cheating happens when you don't appreciate the person you're with. If you're with someone and it's going good, there's no mishaps really, it's healthy. That's just the main word. You can have mishaps, but it has to be healthy. No toxicity. We're not doing that in 2022. You have to just appreciate someone. You have to take a step back sometimes and pretend like you're outside the relationship and say, what does this person do for me? How do they treat me? Do they do the things that I consider like a love language? So you have to kind of take a step back sometimes and re-look at somebody as if you've just met them for the first time. Maybe appreciate their appearance. Even though you're staring at the same person every day for like a year, you sometimes can get used to them and then think to yourself, like you look at you, maybe you're turning your neck a little bit looking at somebody else. Take a step back, pretend like you're not in the relationship for a second, and be like, all right, this person, but like what did I fall in love with them? How do I appreciate them? How am I thankful for them? You have to do that. If you don't, that's where cheating comes into play. You're not thankful for the person, what they do for you. You don't appreciate anything. You know, it's a mature mindset. Relationships are not easy. And I watch a lot of dating shows on reality TV. And I know those are like really corny and awful, but they're so interesting. But that's usually where like the thing happens, where like they're talking to multiple people because they don't appreciate what they have. And then when you don't appreciate what you have, you get sad when you lose it. So don't be sad when you lose something good because you're not appreciating it. Grass is greener, blah, blah, blah. I know I just said this a second ago, but like healthy coping skills and mature coping skills are necessary. You guys you're not gonna agree on everything. Please, if you agree on everything, then what are you robots? You're just going yes and yes and yes back and forth. No, you're gonna have disagreements and you're gonna have mishaps. You're gonna have miscommunications. And this one's for my ladies on TikTok, 'cause I see a lot of TikToks that are like, if he wanted to, he would. He's not doing this. Or she's not doing this. Why hasn't she said this to me? Why doesn't she appreciate me? Let me just say something. First of all, your partner can't read your mind. So that's where miscommunication happens. They're not reading your mind. You have to vocalize things. And when you do vocalize, do not accuse, don't yell, don't scream. Communicate. This is how it makes me feel. I would like to see more of this. I would like to do this more often. I want to go out to dinner. I want to have designated quality time. That's so important. Don't assume they can read your mind just because you've been with them for 8 months already. 8 months is not that big in the scheme of things. But let me tell you, no matter how much you think you know somebody, you really don't. And sometimes, even if you guys don't communicate like that in general, like if that's just like something you've never done, try it. Be like, hey, let's start just like talking about our feelings a little more. It seems corny. It seems like therapy, but I'm telling you, it really does work. And when there's like levels of miscommunication, it really can kind of bridge a gap when you just vocalize it. Like if I said, I'm sad you didn't remember that today was this for me or something like that. I don't know, but you just got to vocalize and don't yell. Don't yell. When you have anger mixed into things, anger is just hyperextended sadness. So just if you're going to be angry or sad, just be sad and say your feelings. Do not yell. That just is unhealthy. And we're trying to be healthy here, okay? All right. Every relationship is unique and don't compare yours. I kind of said this in the beginning too. Yes, so this advice may not fit all of you. Obviously, you may do things a little differently. That's fine. You do you. Every relationship, though, is so completely different because, like, when I talk to my friends about their boyfriends that they've been with for forever, it's so different from my relationship. Like, one of my friends, like, will just send her boyfriend a text, like, once a day just to make sure he's, like, alive. And then they're good. They go about their day, and that's fine. And then they see each other, like, once or twice a week because they have busy lives. Yeah, that's not my relationship. My relationship is like 24/7. Like, what's up? How are you feeling? What are you doing? What are your plans for today? That's my relationship, and that's okay. Some couples don't do that. Some couples have each other's passwords. Some do not. Some, like, I don't know. Everyone's completely different. It doesn't mean yours is bad and hers is bad and theirs is better. No. But I do have to say this. If it doesn't feel right, you gotta leave. If you don't feel it in your gut that you are getting what you need to be fulfilled, you gotta walk out the door, because everyone has different wants and needs, and your partner has to understand that. And especially on an emotional level, like if they're not fulfilling you emotionally, if they're making you feel like you have competition, if they're making you feel like you just aren't worth it, if they're not going that extra mile to really listen and understand what you need and vice versa, you gotta walk out. I'm sorry, because some people will never get that, or maybe you're just not a right fit, and that's okay. There's so many fishies in the sea. I think there was like 7 billion like a couple years ago. Now there's like 8 billion people. See, there's a great influx of bachelors and bachelorettes, and it's great. So you know what? There's someone out there for you, and if you really want to be in a relationship, go to somebody that's gonna actually fulfill those wants and needs. I preach this to everybody because it's true. Trust your gut. And also, if you're not a relationship person, it's okay. Like, if you're somebody that just like gets in a relationship and you're like, this is just isn't for me, it's not that I'm a bad person, I just think I'm more independent, that's okay. Just say it. Don't just ghost somebody. This is what the problem is. We ghost people, and then you do the crazies, you do the sub tweets, and you do the sub TikToks. Can we stop that? Enough. I used to do it, when I was like 19, and I'm still a little immature, but I know not to do that anymore. But like, stop that. Can we just start being a little more mature with our feelings to avoid the TikTok dramas and the texting dramas and the angry 30 phone calls and the voicemails? That's so unhealthy. Keep it out of here. I don't want to see that anymore with any of you guys. Ridiculous. And if you think about it, I'm just summing it up here. Most relationships do not end in marriage. And I know that might hurt a little of you guys to hear if you're a bit younger and that's like your high school sweetheart. But let me tell you something. The beauty of relationships is you're choosing to enter yourself into somebody's life. And when you go in a relationship, they take a piece of you and you take a piece of them. And that's a fact. Like, you're always going to have certain memories attached to that person, and they're going to have the same thing. But in the end, most relationships are a lesson. And instead of crying because it's over, smile because it happened. You guys know the old corny sayings, but it's true. Sometimes you have to think, you know what? That wasn't for me. I deserve something different, and that's a perfectly healthy mindset to be in, to say, you know what, or if it was a bad situation, you say to yourself, I'm glad I got out of that situation. Don't feel pity for yourself. Just be glad you're gone and out of that. So everyone's different. It's either a lesson, it's either just a learning experience. So while not everything is a fairy tale, maybe just some of these tips will help you if you are going through something with your relationship, if you want to get in a relationship, if you want to just know what I think on relationships so you can send in more of your boyfriend applications, that's okay. You know, this is just my motherly advice that I've gained over the years. And I don't know, I hope you guys are happy and love who you love, and that's okay. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Mwah! That was good. I'm going to be a relationship therapist. Should I? Matchmaker? I could never, because I usually just don't, because I have a different type every time I talk to somebody. So like, I feel like I can't match people with who they actually like. Don't get matching tattoos. No, wrong. You can get matching tattoos, but don't get each other's names. Please. I just want to add this in for the record. Echo. For the record, anything I say, really, I put into my own life. I would never say something that I don't actually practice. I do practice communication and healthy relationship tips. You should too. So this isn't me dissing my own relationship. So just before anyone comments, you know, the craziness, all the dramas, this is for everyone else because I do the healthy relationship stuff. Okay. Done.